What happened inside Jamaica Parliament this week has intensified the growing controversy surrounding the Integrity Commission's FLA report. Parliament has had the FLA report since the end of March. No court has blocked the release of the report. So why has the FLA report still not been tabled in Parliament? This week, that question exploded inside Jamaica politics during a heated clash involving opposition leader Mark Golding and the government.
The leader of the opposition is quite aware that this is how we proceeded with Member Hills. This is nothing new. This is no suppression. If it was good at that time for him and no issue was raised by the opposition in 2017 when this government, I'll say it again, and the member from Eastern Westmoreland waxed eloquently earlier about hypocrisy. In 2017, no issue was raised by the opposition when the matter involving Member Hills, when that report was not tabled by this Parliament. The right decision was made then. That decision is being made now. And
the background to this is that there was considerable controversy toing and froing for a long time on delays in the tabling of reports coming to Parliament from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission. That culminated in the Speaker, I think on November 11th, 2023, issuing her position on that matter. And I'm going to read from that. And I quote, "Reports of the Director of Investigation submitted under Section 54, subsection 4, and that's of the Integrity Commission Act, will be tabled as soon as possible after receipt by the Parliament, having regard to the serious nature of the matters that are contained therein. It will be requiring the immediate and direct attention of the House. After it is tabled, it will then be submitted to the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee for their consideration and report." And I add in parentheses, at that point it would be a public document that the media, the whole of Jamaica, and all parliamentarians would have had the benefit of being able to see. I continue. "Kindly note, all reports from the Integrity Commission will be reviewed by the officers before they're tabled, and it will be tabled in the soonest possible time. No effort will be made to delay such reports." End of quote. That was the Speaker's ruling. This report concerning the Firearms Licensing Authority, a public body that has most serious statutory functions, came to this House on March 30, 2026. The cover letter from the Integrity Commission said that the report contains serious matters concerning governance, maladministration, corruption, etc. We are now in mid-May, and that report has not been tabled today. Reports that came to Parliament on Thursday last week, 4 of them, about relatively junior public servants who didn't comply with their statutory declaration filing deadlines. Those have been tabled today, but a more serious report has not been. Parliament allegedly says because the FLA brought proceedings in court, that is relevant to this decision. But in the Ian Hales matter, the court definitively said that the tabling of reports or any other document in Parliament is a matter which is immune from any kind of jurisdiction of the courts. And there's no court order, and there could not properly be any court order affecting the tabling of this report. So this is a most serious matter. We are sure that that report contains very serious matters that the public, the opposition, the media has a right to see and wants to see. And yet we see it being suppressed by the delay in tabling it. And that is untenable. The whole purpose and objective of the Integrity Commission Act is thwarted and undermined if the work of the Integrity Commission, its investigative work culminating in its reports, are sent to Parliament and are not tabled on a timely basis. This is affecting the democracy of the country, the governance of the country, and the public have a right to see it. And we demand that it be tabled today.
Mr. Speaker, the opposition's characterizations are most unfortunate for somebody who holds his office. there is absolutely no suppression, there is absolutely no undermining, and there's absolutely no infringement on our democracy. And I will indicate why quite clearly. As the opposition leader indicated, the Speaker has said that the report, any report, will be tabled at the earliest possible time after a review is done. It is clear, as was done in the Ian Hales' matter, which treated with a member of the opposition, where the matter was brought before the court, that report was not tabled by this Parliament until that matter was resolved. Why was that the case? That is the case because the standing orders make it extremely clear that where there are matters under 16G5 that are likely to prejudice a case, 6G5, that are likely to prejudice a case which is under trial, and under 35(2), any matter on which a judicial decision is pending, then we are not to treat with that matter, or we prejudice the matter. It would make no sense that this Parliament would do something, as learned King's Counsel said. It would make no sense that this Parliament would do something that would then take away the power from another arm of government, right? So, the leader of the opposition is quite aware that this is how we proceeded with Member Hales. This is nothing new. This is no suppression. If it was good at that time for him and no issue was raised by the opposition in 2017 when this government, I'll say it again, and the member from Eastern Westmoreland waxed eloquently earlier about hypocrisy. In 2017, no issue was raised by the opposition when the matter involving Member Hales, when that report was not tabled by this Parliament. The right decision was made then, that decision is being made now, and I ask that we proceed to public business. And another thing, there is no, we have spoke on this matter, but you have been kind, Speaker, but there is no debate on this matter. This is not an opportunity. This is not how, if a debate is to be had, the leader of the opposition would have to move an appropriate motion, right? We have the leader of government, the leader of opposition business has intervened. The leader of the opposition has intervened. The government has responded. This is not a space for a debate.
Of order. On a point of order, the leader of government business in the House is misleading the House on this matter, and it must be corrected. The question of Ian Hales' case is very relevant. The final ruling, the only substantive ruling in that case, was a reasoned and written judgment. And the court ruled that the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate would have been acting intra vires, in other words, within their powers, by tabling the report submitted by the OCG, as it then was. Their actions would be categorized as Parliament conducting their internal affairs, and as such, their actions would be immune to the jurisdiction of the court. I find that the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate were improperly joined to the application for leave as interested parties. It is abundantly clear that a public body like the FLA should not be able to throw a cloak of secrecy over a public... My point of order.
You rose on a point of order, but you're making a presentation.
Yeah, I'm completing my point of order. I'm completing my point of order.
No member that cannot be allowed.
I'm completing my point of order.
No member that cannot be allowed. You're making a presentation. You would have raised your point of order to the point. No, you're making a presentation. So we're not going to allow that.
At this point, Mark Golding's frustration is boiling over, and he's about to make the ultimate move to show his frustration. Take a look and then comment on if you think it is disrespectful for him to do this, or the right thing.
I'm responding to the point of order. I'm responding to the point of order. I am responding to the point of order. What the leader of the opposition has said is that the court has indicated that it is in the purview of the parliament. That is what the court has indicated. The court has not said that you must table. The court has said that the parliament has the right to decide. And I'm saying the parliament decided that where the matter is before the court, as per the standing orders, if you were to prejudice that matter, then we will leave it alone. It's as simple as that.
We are not going to entertain a debate. It's not a matter of debate. I don't wish to do that because it is going to open the floodgate for others to ask questions. No, I am not convinced, member. Member, I am not convinced. At this time, I am not convinced. I am not convinced. I am not convinced, member. Bills brought by the Senate. Petitions, papers, report from committees, notice of motion given orally, question and answers to questions, motion that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notices, motion relating to the sitting of the House, motion for leave to introduce bills, presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained, public business.
So what was all that about? And, for viewers just catching up, the Integrity Commission submitted the FLA report concerning serious governance concerns connected to Jamaica's Firearm Licensing Authority. Weeks later, the report still has not been tabled in Parliament. Mark Golding and the opposition argue that the Jamaican public has a right to see the FLA report. The government argues caution is necessary because legal proceedings connected to the matter are still ongoing. But this week, the Jamaica politics debate surrounding the report took a dramatic turn. Mark Golding directly challenged the government over the continued delay of the FLA report. And one comparison immediately stood out. Several Integrity Commission reports involving junior public servants were tabled quickly, but the far more serious FLA report was not. And Mark Golding clearly wanted Jamaicans to notice that contrast. Mark Golding also referenced an earlier ruling from House Speaker Juliet Holness, stating that Integrity Commission reports would be tabled as soon as possible, and that no effort would be made to delay them. But then the controversy became even more serious. Mark Golding challenged the legal justification being used to withhold the FLA report, because according to Mark Golding, the Ian Hales ruling already established that Parliament's internal proceedings, including tabling reports, are protected from court interference, meaning Parliament has the authority to release the FLA report if it chooses to. And if that argument is correct, the entire Jamaica politics debate changes. Because the issue is no longer whether Parliament can table the FLA report. The issue becomes why Parliament has chosen not to release the report. The government strongly rejected Mark Golding's claims. Leader of Government Business Floyd Green insisted there was absolutely no suppression, absolutely no undermining, and absolutely no infringement on democracy. Instead, Floyd Green argued Parliament was simply following precedent from the Ian Hales matter, where a report was also delayed while legal proceedings were active. But here's the question now, driving this potential controversy in Jamaica politics. No court injunction currently exists, preventing Parliament from tabling the FLA report. None. And that has become the central political issue surrounding the FLA report. If Parliament has the authority to release the FLA report, why is it still being withheld? This controversy is now about far more than a single FLA report. It has evolved into a major Jamaica politics debate over transparency, accountability, parliamentary authority, and public trust. The government says it is protecting procedure. Mark Golding and the opposition say the delay damages confidence in the system. Meanwhile, the Jamaican public is still waiting to see the report that Parliament has had for weeks. What do you think about the FLA report controversy? Do you agree with Mark Golding that the FLA report should already have been tabled publicly? Or do you believe the government is right to delay the FLA report while legal proceedings continue? Share your thoughts below. And for more Jamaica politics analysis, Mark Golding updates, FLA report developments, and Jamaica News Today, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Now check out the major Jamaica politics clash appearing on your screen right now.